was considered by Telegram and had sent to a group of persons by Telegram an image, a video footage, and the location of your lab. So this can be implemented here.
Okay.
As one of the less options.
One possibility is to implement also in the technical. Or maybe by using this possibility, go to weapon detection application, okay? The user interface of the weapon detection tool is opened and you get access to this functionality. So you can these scenarios.
Can be acceptable for you sending a Telegram images to a colleague? Okay. So this could be an approach at least for this acceptance pilot now. Maybe we understand it.
Yes, okay, great. Well, good morning, everybody. Okay, the mic is open. Well, good morning, everybody. Thanks for inviting me in this meeting. I'm going to present you briefly the FASTER project. The FASTER project is a project that it is now in its mature phase. So the project will finish at the end of February 2022. So in a way it is just in the exploitation phase. The main objective, well, in this project we have a lot of first responders involved from Spain, Finland, Greece, Italy, and Portugal, and also first responder from Japan, linked with the University of Kwansei. The main objective, the main motivation of FASTER project was to follow two main pillars. From one side, improve the effectiveness of emergency responses through new technologies, but on the other hand, open the eyes toward the first responder safety. So keep them safe during the operation. Now, what is the situation now? Instead of 3 pilots, we run 6 pilots because due to the COVID-19, we were obliged to develop a new strategy. So trying to run a remote piloting, so testing remotely the technology. And we are the pilots in France, in Portugal, and in Poland that were not planned. And also in Greece, because in Greece we had our coordinator, because it's CERT, but there was no a pilot plan for Greece. So we have now really a lot of pilots around, and I will show you, I can talk while you can see this video. So what have been the results of the project? The results is, for instance, here you can see the augmented reality used from a drone, where it is possible to see areas that are not accessible during the disaster. So using the HoloLens, here I am. So the operator is able to see behind a wall, for instance, and for instance to see this truck, the truck you see there, that was not possible to be seen from his point of view. Then in this field test we had the opportunity to verify in field operation the working of all the technology. You will see the next one when this small clip is finished. What I want to say is that we are very proud to tell you that in this project we had a patented outcome, that is a system to allow to launch an emergency call without the connection in a situation in which there is no connection, no Wi-Fi, no mobile connection, and that the civil protection in Turin decided to adopt the mechanism, the chatbot mechanism based on smartwatches and mobile telephone that we developed in this project. And this adoption is going to be real official. So this is a real exploitation, although due to the fact that in the project it was involved directly the Piedmont region and the information technology company owned by the region, so they are not going to pay, they have not to buy the product because the product is inside the administration. Here you see autonomous vehicle that could be piloted for in emergency manually, and they are able to do 3D mapping with this lot of devices. So they have LiDAR, they have multispectral camera, so they can do a lot of let's say data collection in different way, so you are able to take a decision. This is the use of heavy drone to bring, for instance, medicines or devices for isolated people. And this is something very interesting, is the use of canine unit with this collar that allows them not only to know where the dog is, but also to, in a way, to understand what the dog is doing. Because for instance, according to how the dog is barking, we are able to understand if he found a person or not. It's wonderful, something really, I like it a lot. This is the portable situational awareness that should work in synergy with the traditional control room, but in this portable unit you are able to know each agent where he is, what he is doing, and this is done on the base of a detailed map done immediately after the emergency with drones working in swarm, so you can launch more of them, 3, 4, 5, and they manage themselves to do the mapping in a very short time, so in order to give you a realistic and really updated solution, vision of what is the situation. And that mapping will be the base. Immediately after that, you have the map as a base to manage the action of all people involved in the action. So I want to save time as much as possible. There are some further images, but I will skip them. And because I want to focus on what I learned today being with you, because I really think these two projects are in a way complementary, because we developed a lot of new technology. Some of them are exploitable, some of them are less exploitable, some of them are visible, some not visible. But what is important is that you are on the other hand concentrating in giving an overall picture of what is going on. So this is very interesting, because We are more focused on the particular situation during the management of the action. You are probably more concentrated on giving the community and the administration a view of what is going on in a large territory. So these two visions to me are really complementary, and this is to me very interesting. I didn't have the possibility to learn something and to discuss about ethics, but simply to give you what were the outcome from our project, we understood that there are very heavy ethics and privacy implications in doing managing emergency. Not during the emergency, because fortunately the law allows you to use data during the emergency. But when you are simulating, when you are exercising, you are affecting citizen privacy. For instance, if you fly with a drone, and you capture 4K video, it doesn't matter if you say, oh, we are going to delete this video after the use. This is not important for the GDPR. Due to the fact that you capture the video, you transmit the video on the net, you are responsible. Because that video in the wrong hands would generate, for instance, face recognition of people. And this is really an issue, because I would suggest, and this is what we are doing, during exercises we ask all people involved to sign an informed consent. And the informed consent should be dedicated to that specific event, not a generic one. So this is a burden. This is a burden. In fact, we are using electronic one on a tablet. We go around with a tablet and we give the tablet to the person to do that. And we keep trace of that in the website. But really, I think we have to discuss about that, and I think also an update in the regulation is probably needed in the future, and I think it is our role to give evidence to the fact that it is not possible to work in this way. I can make you another example, is not related to privacy, the use of drone, the use of UPV. It's crazy. It's crazy because we didn't have the possibility to test them in several sites due to the fact that it's not that the authority were against. It's really very difficult to get the authorization. So these are some key points. And I'd like to imagine what related to the use of artificial intelligence, because this is the future. So what kind of authorization we should have in order to use artificial intelligence. But anyhow, I think we are working in the same direction. Our project is in the end, and your project is probably in the mid phase, so you have more room than us to go ahead. And thank you very much. It was really a pleasure to have this opportunity to see what you do. Thank you. 7 million. 6.9.
How many partners?
23. Yeah. To be honest, some of them were not starting from scratch for that technology. So the technology had not been developed completely in the project. The project provided an enhancement and mainly the integration. For instance, the integration in the situational awareness was really something very new. because each technology was working alone, and a lot of effort was spent to create a sort of common way to communicate. I am not an expert, but they use Kafka and Grafana to do that. So they spend a lot of time in order to understand how to get all the information.
Okay, thanks really.
So you talked about having a swarm of drones.
Yeah.
And what I don't quite understand, which is very interesting, is how do you control where the drones go?
Well,
When you have a swarm, you want to just cover the whole area? Is that right?
yes, you on a workstation you have the position of each drone, but they are working alone. They are managing themselves where to go. So you give them the order to cover an area, and they divide it by them how to cover that area. So it's an automatic process. For sure, during the project, we had one operator for each drone ready to keep the control of the drone if somebody was going wrong. But to be honest, it was not the case.
Because I'm just thinking about the scenarios that we have with using cameras to do the weapon detection. I'm thinking to the next step. So if we detect a guy with a weapon,
You have to follow them.
and you want to follow him, I mean, if you have fixed cameras, you can't follow him. But you could conceivably have a drone or several drones
Yes.
that could in fact follow him. I can imagine the ethics issues of that scene.
Well, but if you are in an emergency, there is no ethics. And then the second point, if you are the municipality, the public administration, you have a less ethic issue than a private company or a university. This is for instance, I'm starting now a new project where we are dealing with personal data. We solved the problem because we said all personal data will stay in the public administration, in the municipality. So we are not moving personal data from the municipality. So this is what you can do. But we have to manage. We have to manage the situation one by one, because country by country the situation is also different. Because for instance, I know in Finland the public administration in Kajani gave the right to the university to host their data, because the university has a big data center and the municipality is using the university data center for the storage. So it depends.
I really like the idea of the virtual reality so that the person can see behind the wall.
Yeah, this is absolutely great. I tested that. Where they created a smoke room, a room full of smoke, and with this HoloLens, you have the rendering of the building, so you can avoid stairs, you can avoid table and everything, although you are not seeing what is in front of you. So it's really something useful. The problem, the issue is HoloLens are not so practical. They have an issue in communication. So probably the device should be more, let's say, advanced, but the idea is really, really good.
Are you having any kind of final dissemination event to show the final results?
Well, there will be a final dissemination event in Osaka, in Japan.
Then even more months ago.
Well,
If I was allowed to go to Japan.
No. I think we are going to do something, and if you want, we can invite. But also, I think we will have a pilot in in Kajani next March. So if you want to join, because it's not so, you can take a flight, it's not so difficult. You can go to see the pilot there.
If you could keep us informed of any these kind of events that we're
Yes, we will have, I think, 3 or 4 events starting from January at the end of March. We will have several events.
Thank you, Fabio.
Thank you.
I don't know if there are any